paying it any attention this winter. I think we're live now. I never know exactly when it starts because when it says on the screen, it's got it. But
Yeah.
then when I look at the YouTube, it's not there yet. So like I don't know, but now the YouTube's there. So I don't know when I don't know when we actually started. But if you are seeing this now and you're the first one, welcome to my channel. This is our weekly show that we do. It's the recording of the Comedeorological report, which starts at 7 p.m. And Brandon Houck and I are here already to talk about all the crazy winter weather that's coming. It's going to be a good one, I think.
Oh
So,
yeah. It's not going to make
yeah,
any sense at all.
yeah, I mean, I've seen some models now saying that we could see on the Alberta side in the Rockies looking at minus 40 temps in maybe 8 to 10 days. I mean, that's a ways out. But
Plus,
every time I keep looking, I keep seeing something more alarming than I seen last time. So, it's like it's getting worse and worse every day, the projections. Is that
could be.
fair to say?
Well, there's going to be one factor with this. If we have periods of light snow the whole time, it probably won't be as cold because I've seen these kind of scenarios play out before. Because when you get cloud cover and you get snow falling, it doesn't get as cold as what the projections are. So that's one factor that we're going to have to watch as well as we get into next week. If we get that upslope enhancement, easterly flow, you get periods of light snow, you get stratus clouds, kind of blah, gross kind of weather. It will still be very, very cold, like minus 30s, and wind chills maybe mid minus 30s instead of what you could see. Because I've done this before too, because when I've seen a cold air mass that substantial before, I'm like, oh, here it comes. And all of a sudden, I get induced by light snow for the whole week, and it doesn't get as cold, and it doesn't play out as what you thought it planned out to be. So
Well, that is true that
that's
we
the
have
way it
some
goes
pretty
around
big Pacific
these
systems
spots.
out there.
Oh yeah.
So that's sort of the wild card is like, how's that going to interact? Who's going to win? Right.
But
So
then
it's
if you
the,
have a nice clear sky and you don't have any snow falling, and then it's game on.
yeah, you're getting the pure Arctic outbreaks. So, um, what's that push and that tug of war going to look like on the coast,
Oh
in
yeah.
Western Canada, seeing as you are prone to pretty rapid changes of weather yourself there. Okay, well, let's start having a look at what's actually going on right now. And welcome to anybody who's tuning in. Here, if you can, hit share or subscribe. I can't subscribe to myself, so you can't see that. But here I am. This is our channel. Good. And you can always leave a comment right here and or question, and we will try to answer it. Okay. I think I'm almost there. Oh yeah, I also better do this. Interior Weather Wilderness Watchers, this is the group I run, and I got the thing here, so I'm going to share it to my page so that maybe other people will see it. And I should also be sharing it to the group, chat, green, here we are.
My screen just
Here we
went
are.
dark.
We're already live, everybody. So share it, tell your friends, come and see. The winter is super angry. So let's look at Canada right now, as is. Accidentally clicked on nowhere when I was trying to click on this box. So nothing's happening nowhere. That's good news for you who are nowhere. Right now, you've been seeing some foggy systems lately, some near zero. I've seen the rime frost pictures you had because the air
Oh
is
yeah.
so cold, moist, and then it froze, and it froze all the trees, and it looked really pretty.
Huh. Can you still see me?
I can still see you.
Good, good. Okay, my screen just went all dark, so I can't see you or anybody, but that's okay. I'll play it as radio.
Wow, you can't see the screen share.
No.
Okay, well, the screen share is currently on Environment Canada page, and improvement by Friday morning. So you will get out of this fog at some point soon. So if we go up to Old Crow, up in the Yukon there, so bitterly cold wind chills for our friends there at minus 50. Arctic air mass will settle over the Old Crow area. Daytime, nighttime temperatures will be between minus 35 and 40. The cold temperatures combined with 15-kilometer-an-hour winds will produce wind chills near minus 50. These extremely cold wind chills will persist until Friday or early Saturday when warmer air is supposed to come into the region. Minus 50 to minus 55 expected in Tuktoyaktuk as well. And again, I still find these. There's a blizzard warning going on for the Dempster Highway. So the 50-kilometer-an-hour winds are gusting 100 kilometer an hour. Poor visibility and blowing snow. Wind chills between 40 and 50 below. That's all. No big deal. So yeah, a bit of snow, and it kind of made things a little bit better for them. Not, no, they're getting a full-on blizzard warning. You don't see blizzard warnings too often in a lot of places because there's definitions for blizzard that are very specific in Canada, at least. Otherwise, we people around the world would call everything that happens a blizzard here, and we can't have that. Near visibility for our friends who are up in the Dempster Highway. Of course, there's the gas station there, sort of halfway along the Dempster Highway. Between there and as you go out towards the Beaufort Sea. And if you're at that gas station tonight, you probably want to just stay right there. I can't remember the name of that gas station. Can you?
Oh, which gas station?
The one on between on the Dempster Highway there between Dawson City and up to the far north. It's halfway.
I don't know what gas station that is, so I still can't see the screen.
It's a truck stop.
It's a truck stop. I've never been there, so I don't know.
So for our friends near Churchill and Tadua Lake, Joe Stover will be so happy. Temperatures with wind chills of minus 45 there Thursday night into Friday. Extreme cold puts everyone at risk, right? So if you feel numbness, color change in fingers and toes, put more wood in the fire. Definitely don't go outside. Wind chills near minus 50 in Peewanack, Ontario. And also if you go, extreme cold warning is going on as well for Fort Severn, Ontario. Minus 45, so not between 45 and 50, perhaps on Friday night. So this Arctic outbreak is happening. And then it's not until you go right into the eastern part of the country there, where you get a special weather statement. Total snowfall. There's going to be a big snowstorm coming through there. And it's not just Eastern Canada getting it. There's going to be snowstorms into New York in the next week. All over the place, it's going to be snowstorms. And then, I don't know, we'll look at all that in a minute. This is an evolving situation several days away, so we don't know what's going to happen. We could have some pretty big wind gusts. We could have 25 centimeters of snow on the South Shore, maybe less. It could be Sunday afternoon into Monday. So that's what Eastern Canada. Frankie will be here soon at 7 o'clock, and he will tell us all about that. I'm sure he's the expert on weather, especially where he lives. And winter storm watch is going on there in Newfoundland. Bureau and Bonavista Peninsulas, the moderate winds and blowing snow. But we got the reds here. Winter storm warning for basically all southeast side of Newfoundland there. 60 to 80 kilometer wind gusts, winter storm warning, snow beginning Friday morning. So that's the first rounds of this winter outbreak are starting to show up, I think, in our cross Canada sort of look. Let's have a look, Brandon.
Okay. Brandon still can't see anything, but that's okay.
No, should we try? Maybe I should try sharing again and just see what happens. Okay, can you see me now?
No, I still can't see you.
You can't see me at all?
That's okay.
I'm here. Maybe something's wrong on your end. I don't know.
Maybe it might be my end. My Teams was funky today too, but as long as you can still see me, that's fine.
I can see and hear you, and most certainly I'm showing up on my camera.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
As long as that's happening, fine.
As long as everyone can see me, that's important. That's too bad you can't see this GFS modeling over the next 200 hours or something like this. And what's a 100 and something hour forecast? Let's see, 120, 126, 32, 38, 44. And so that's a bunch of days. 190, so 200. So poor Brandon can't see this, but more or less, we're going to see the bitter cold show up in the clear across Canada for a little bit there on, that's too
cool.
bad. That's not helping
on
us.
My phone.
You can see it on your phone, but you can't see it.
I have it on mute, so then you can't hear yourself talking, so that would be weird. Listen to
Yes, I remember I used to have to do weird things like that, have several computers going because it was awful. Okay. It was awful.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
There we are looking at Friday. Um, so we can sort of see this storm approaching. It doesn't look like a big deal as it approaches into Atlantic Canada, this first round of it. And it just kind of gets angry. And it's not even the show that we're thinking of. That one goes up towards Greenland. That's one of those big, deep ones we've been seeing, eh? Here
Oh, yeah.
comes the show. Bam, onto Sunday. This next guy that comes in behind it, and it deepens fast. It deepens before it gets sort of out to sea the way the other one did. So that should give a good blast through to Atlantic Canada. Frankie will be all excited about that, and on its way past through into, as it went past places like New York and the Eastern Seaboard. There's millions of people who live there, so that will be significant. Right? Already looking at next Tuesday. Yeah. So we do see like snow in the BC forecast, certainly. And where did this come from? Yeah, let's watch this one again. Tuesday is it. So definitely going to be a lot of snow on the backside, some pretty big thunderstorms, rain bouts, but that's going to move into Ontario. So they're going to get their turn. For maybe in the Great Lakes area, looks like it might be a little bit too warm for snow. But certainly that's going to, again, come into Atlantic Canada, up into Newfoundland and Quebec. That should be a good one. And it doesn't look like a lot of the snow I'm seeing in BC forecast, none of it looks like crazy, but it's coming. There's snow coming,
yep.
Particularly this weekend. And then another round of those storms. So we get that classic look, and this is looking into next week. And by this time, bitter cold. This will be all bitter cold. Some of these temperatures I've seen down into even Wyoming, where the possibility hitting into minus 40 by next weekend in the Rocky Mountains again. So that remains to be seen. But those are alarming. And so we get the classic sort of look with the Gulf of Mexico, bringing this moist, warm, humid air, right? And then we got, you always hear the Americans say this, cold air coming from Canada. And this is what they mean.
It's our fault.
Well, look at all the snow this is going to produce, and that's going to be a big time storm. So people like Ryan Hall, y'all will be all over that, I'm sure. And again, into the Great Lakes, and maybe some snow this time for you, and then changing to rain, maybe we'll see. But that becomes a pretty big storm. That's windy, Northern Ontario, Superior, Lake Superior. You know what that's like when the gales of Lake Superior get going. And this is, preparing live stream. It says. I hope everything's working. And then this has kind of stayed the same. Looking at 16th to 18th, where we get kind of the next round of real Pacific weather hitting into the BC coast. So that hasn't changed much in the last bunch of times I've looked at this. And we get another storm unfurling there. So that'll probably beat back our cold to some degree as we get into the later into the third week of. Brandon's laughing to himself there.
Sorry, I'm talking to somebody else too.
That's okay.
Each other. Oh yes. I'm gonna reboot this and then I'll come back. See if that works.
Yeah, okay. Maybe it'll work better.
Oh yes.
And I'll just look at all these pretty images and.
Okay, have fun.
Potentially talk to no one.
Buddy.
Okay, bye now. Okay. Is the live stream actually working? I don't know. Brandon's frozen. It's weird. Some weird things are going on here tonight. So we'll see. I'm just going to look to see any Hokamaniacs in the chat. You may be the only person in the chat right now. Oh, Shelly Selinsky's here again. Thank you, Shelly. Good to see you. Definitely going to be Hokamaniacs on the show because we love this guy, Brandon. 12 minutes till Frankie shows up. Brandon's had to reboot because he's having computer issues. So that's good. It's good. I wasn't sure if things were working because it says weird things right now on my screen, and Brandon's thing was freezing up and preparing live stream. So as long as, hey, Jody Harnan in Oregon, great. That's great. So yeah, we were just looking at the models and seeing some miserable looking weather coming towards even Oregon. Let's have a deeper look while we're waiting for Brandon to come back, and I'm sure at some point we'll see Imogen soon. And Frankie will be here as always at 7 p.m. Pacific time sharp. Okay, we're gonna skip right to snowfall. Actually, let's look at new snow for BC. So this is kind of a big one over the next 3 days. We'll start at 24 hours. That's what I like. So the next 24 hours, a little bit of snow is already falling here in the Cariboo Mountains. We've seen a little bit of snow. It's not been falling with any particular vigor or attitude, but it has been falling. So off and on today, little bits. Next 3 days, we'll look out, could see in the next 3 days, certainly the Coast Mountains here in, looks like the North Rockies and the Cariboos, certainly a little bit through the Columbias as well. Some in the Kootenays, perhaps less so. That's what ECMWF model says. GFS model, more or less the same. Seeing as we have people in Oregon here, we'll have a look down here. And I'm just going to zoom out. And so a little bit of snow in your mountains too in the next 3 days. So that's nice for you. And the next 5 days, that gets bigger. So certainly in your Cascades, you might be seeing some potential for maybe a little bit of avalanche conditions, but also potential for ski season to actually start happening in places that have been desperately craving for snow. There's this big blob in the Cariboo and into it's this sort of the Prince George region, the Chaco, up past Fort St. James North, where not much is anticipated to fall. Maybe in the next 10 days. So here's the question: if it's going to be this much snow in the next 5 to 10 days, look at our friends down in Oregon. So your mountains there, you're going to see. For some reason, my clicker won't show. There we go, 135 centimeters. So over a meter of snow possible in those mountains, according to the GFS. What does ECMWF say? ECMWF, more or less the same, just a little bit more detail, perhaps, right? So that's just where the potential. Well, it's not just snow that falls. We got a bit of rain, so definitely on the coast in the next 10 days. Definitely our friends in Portland, you're going to see lots of rain down there for sure. Over in Alberta, how much of the new snow do you get? Now here's, as we look at new snow in the next 10 days, I mean, look at some of this story. So there's definitely going to be the potential for some pretty big snowfall stories where millions and millions of Americans live. So there's like those storms that I first looked at earlier in the show passing through this weekend, and they're going to feed the ones that Frankie and those get. So yeah, definitely looking at, when I say winter outbreak across the continent, we are looking at the extreme cold, sure, but we're also looking at this potential for snowfall. Look at it into northern Quebec and northern Ontario, 69 centimeters, 68 centimeters. Like, whoa, wait a second. That's pretty close to Quebec City. So what if this was off by these expectations? What if instead of it falling there, it falls here? I mean, these things can change in the next 10 days, right? So that could be very interesting. Could be very interesting. Still no Hauk, so hopefully he's okay. We're always worried about when none of our other people are here. Here's that Arctic air mass we were just talking about. Definitely an Arctic air mass. I like to look at nighttime temperatures because that gives us sort of the best idea of how bad it will get, if you go outside at nighttime. So by Friday, Northern Ontario, Manitoba, we were seeing some of those extreme cold warnings, seeing some of these extreme cold warnings up into where wind chill values could be even 12 kilometers an hour when you're at minus 35 is too much wind. And that cold air diving all the way down in the United States too, right? So here in Wyoming, minus 23. This is just the start of it. This is just the start of it. And freezing across a large section of North America at nighttime. So during the daytime, that warmth does push back up for lots of you in the States. But by nighttime, you're going to see that fluctuation. You're going to have chilly nights for some of you. And if you are in Wyoming, and if you are down here, wow, look at this. In Colorado, 22s. This is just the start of it. This is just the start of it. It hasn't fully broken out yet. And we're going to look at why and how. Let's go to the 3D. Because I just think it looks so cool. Okay, that's Sunday. I'm gonna watch it do its thing now. And look at some of these cold temperatures in Russia. Siberia seeing 40s, 50s at times, I'm sure, if we look close enough. Jump ahead 24 hours. Again, that Rocky Mountains clinging that cold air down there. And now we're going to watch the Arctic outbreak really start to make its move, particularly Wednesday on. So let's knock this guy off for a second. And we'll just play this out and watch how this air mass. And what's really interesting is watch where the warmer air comes into as it displaces this cold air. So you talk about global warming and climate change and stuff, and most people are like, well, it's really cold here. And like, well, that's true, but it should not be this warm here at the North Pole. Minus 24. Okay, that's not too bad. But where's this block of warmer air? Where is it? It's in here. Minus 20, 19. It's coming though. It's coming. This warmer air is coming as this colder air is dropping down. So we're looking at next week, Thursday, here in Wells. Probably going to see 30 if that happens. I don't have any snow on my house, unlike other years. So I'm not looking forward to what that could mean. What will the battle between the Pacific weather and the cold, will this make things actually warmer than we expect it to be? Dear God, I hope. Thank goodness this minus 49 in Siberia is over there. It can stay there. But yeah, some of this warm air now trying to get, this is the North Pole. And look at this stuff. It's coming way north. This is pretty warm up here. That's pretty close to the North Pole, and it's 3 degrees. Yeah, so what is this? Reykjavik or some thing up there. I just did a video about World War II battle for weather a couple weeks ago. The Germans landed secret teams up here to like get weather reporting. So we see all this nicer, relatively warmer air coming into the far north while displacing that cold air southward. And it doesn't look happy at all. Keep saying preparing live stream here, so I'm hoping that everything's working fine. I haven't heard from Brandon now. Is this a heat map of viewers for the community? Yes, it is. That's exactly how many viewers we have in Vancouver Island. It'll be next week at this time. It looks like minus 16 viewers. So yeah, if you're in the center of the island on Saturday the 13th, maybe it'll be minus 18 viewers. So especially up on top of the mountains there, minus 18 viewers. That's pretty typical Vancouver Island viewership for our TV show. Certainly. And I'm just curious as to why I have no help yet back. Just seems like Hauk, are you having trouble getting back on? Is there something weird going on with the show on my end? We'll get to the bottom of this because Frankie should be here in a minute, regardless. Huh, that's a lot of talking I just did. Frankie McDonald, so okay, things are working because Frankie's here. And with or without Brandon Start, or our wonderful Imogen, or our dashing Hilding, or Hank, or all of our friends. Hi, Frankie. He's here. Goodness. Hey, Frankie. Happy New
I'm
Year.
doing great. Happy New Year.
Okay, you ready to start recording?
I'm just putting the glove down now.
Okay, yeah. Imogen's just coming in the studio too, so I'll just wait a minute. She's been very busy lately, so we get here when we get here. There's no real rules for this show, as you may have noticed. We just go for it.
Yeah.
That's like I was telling my kids about falling trees. It's like it's really dangerous learning how to fall trees, but if I didn't just go for it, I would never learn how. So I definitely had some scary moments in my life
There's a
dropping
guy
trees.
out the Mayfire Multi. There's a guy. Thank you to Brandon Helk.
Yeah,
The guy I almost same identical to Brandon Helk. It's somebody else. It's not Brandon out tomorrow. I just
yeah,
wrote that down.
yeah. We'll talk about that in 1 second. Images here, so we'll
Yeah.
start recording. Good morning, Prince George, and good afternoon, Winnipeg. Hello, Kamloops, and viewers on Rogers TV. This is the Comedeorological Report. I am Joey Only, your host up here in Wells, British Columbia. This is a show about how much the weather sucks in Canada, and it's about to suck far worse than it has so far all winter. That's right. We're about to have our first real winter outbreak, and it's going to be continent-wide. Continent-wide. It's going to be from Imogen to Frankie-wide. Cold, snow, misery. It's all going to happen. Everyone said, where's winter? You shouldn't have said it so many times. You jinxed it. Winter's here. Almost. And I'm not looking forward to it. It's going to be too cold for me. I don't know if I said this yet, but my name is Joey Only. I'm here in Wells, British Columbia, up in the Caribou Mountains, 3,935 feet above sea level here at the house. And we do have safe ice on the lake here, but down at Bowron Provincial Park, I was just at yesterday with the kids, there's swans swimming around in open water. And I am concerned for those swans, what will happen soon if and when we do get minus 30 in the forecast, which seems more and more evidently to be happening. Okay, so I got soon to have Brandon Hauk back. Sorry, Hulkamaniacs, his computer, he's having trouble with Teams today, and he was speaking to the Premier, and he's the most famous man in Brooks, Alberta, and we love him, and he'll be back. But we do have our associate producer, Imogen Cookie Bailey, who just showed up down in Victoria, British Columbia. I almost said Imogen, British Columbia. That should be a town, though, right, Imogen?
In theory. Depends on who you talk to.
So this is Victoria down there in Imogen, British Columbia, our capital. And also, of course, we have the man himself out there in Sydney, Nova Scotia. He's standing in the cold. He's about to have some big-time weather stories coming his way. He is the world's greatest weatherman, Frankie McDonald. How you doing so far, Frankie?
I'm doing great so far. It's cold outside Sydney, Nova Scotia right now. There's a big snowstorm heading for St. John's Duplain on Friday. I just sent you the video of the St. John's Duplain snowstorm. Then I got another one heading for Boston on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to bring lots of snow in Boston, USA as well. It's going to bring lots of snow in Boston, Massachusetts. It's going to bring snow, rain, mixed rain, New York City, New Jersey, and all those places. And the weather all across eastern United States is going to turn really big storm on Wednesday, coming up the east coast of the United States, entire eastern United States as well. And it's going to bring lots of cold weather all across and western North America. It's going to bring really cold temperatures. Then it got cold. Then it got some rain and cold. Lots of snow in Vancouver, British Columbia, and rain. It's going to bring snow in Vancouver, British Columbia next week. There's one storm right after another eastern United States. It's going to be a big storm in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin next week, and parts of Illinois and parts of Iowa and on northern Ontario, like Sudbury, Timmins, and all those places right now. Followed by another big storm next weekend all across eastern United States as well. Like Wisconsin, Minnesota, Dakotas and those places. It's going to turn stormy all across the next few weeks in Dakotas and things like this. It got polar vortex in North America, down in South America. Weather in South America is going to bring lots of thunderstorms, rain in Brazil, including parts of Venezuela and those places. And parts of Peru is going to bring eastern Peru, eastern Colombia, Ecuador. They're bringing lots of thunderstorms and rain right now. It's really windy and dry in northern Chile right now. And lots of rain in southern Chile and snow up in the mountains in southern Chile right now. And Argentina is drier than normal.
Guess what, Frankie? Guess what?
Yeah.
Joe Stover is here, and he's at bingo at the Legion, so he doesn't have much time. But Joe Stover is going to give us a quick report about the cold that's coming towards him from the Legion playing bingo. Joe Stover.
Yeah. That's it's cold. The cold snap has finally arrived in northern Manitoba. We've got highs of minus 26, 27, 28. We got a low of minus 30 tonight. I think we're going to be the first minus 30 in the province for the season, and which is good news, of course, for the Hudson Bay, which needs to freeze up for the polar bears. Good news for the winter roads in northern Manitoba that rely on them. So, and what the long range forecast looks like is like at least within the next couple of weeks, we're not going to be out of this deep freeze anytime soon. Which cold isn't always fun, but the land and the animals need it, so we're okay.
What goes on at Churchill Bingo?
Well, see, this is a special bingo, because it's a guaranteed jackpot, $1,000 for the blackout. So we're just in the middle now of the intermission wrapping up, and so we got a few more games to play before the big one yet. But everybody's here for the $1,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, if you get a moment, check back in if something awesome happens. We'd love to get more bingo reports from Churchill, Manitoba, where it's going to be so cold that all you can do is play bingo.
You got it. Very good. Have a good rest of the show. I'll try and check in on you guys later. Behave, for goodness sakes.
Okay, bye, Joe. Okay, Frankie.
And as for me, continuing, that means it got really stormy weather and cold weather hitting all the way down to Spain, England, France, and Portugal, even Morocco and Algeria. They're going to bring some snow in southern part and down in parts of Algeria, those places. Then they got lots of rain coming towards Italy and Greece, and snow up in Croatia, Bosnia, and those places. And then this weekend, it's going to bring really cold weather in Norway, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands, and Germany, and all those places right now. And Turkey's going to get snow sometime next week as well, including Turkey, and Ukraine's getting snow. Moscow, Russia's going to get snow as well. They got really cold air towards Moscow, Russia, for the North Pole, and over in India, and those places. India's in the dry season right now. Lots of cold weather in northern Japan. They got cold weather heading for Tokyo, Japan, South Korea, Pyongyang, North Korea, Vladivostok, Russia. It's really cold right now. Mongolia is really cold. So is China, northern China. Even Beijing, China's getting really cold weather, dry weather. As right now, Siberia is so cold right now. Lots of thunderstorms, rain going on in Indonesia right now, in Philippines and Papua New Guinea and Singapore and Malaysia. And lots of thunderstorms, rain going on right now. It's really dry Bangladesh right now during the dry season. India's in the dry season. Sri Lanka's getting thunderstorms and rain. So as far as southern India, they got little showers and forecast since India's in the dry season right now. Really dry in Saudi Arabia, but cooler temperatures. And they got right now in the parts of southern Africa and places like and lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in Botswana and those places, and Zimbabwe and Zambia and Uganda and southern Congo and Mozambique. Lots of thunderstorms and rain, saying La Reunion and Mauritius Islands right now. In places like in Southwest Pacific, like Australia and those places. Lots of really hot weather up in desert areas in Australia and northern Australia, those places. They got some thunderstorms and rain and hail coming to eastern Australia next week as well. Then in New Zealand, it's really warm there right now. It's southern hemisphere summer. Then they got a heat wave heading for New Zealand later on next week, possible. Like Auckland, New Zealand, those places. They got a heat wave there right now. It's still 24-hour darkness up in the Arctic and 24-hour daylight up down in Antarctica. That means when it's the next sunrise up in Nome, Alaska, sometime in the end of January, when is the next sunset in Antarctica?
Hey, Frankie. There was well, before I ask you about this, I just want to say hi to Hank Vliestra, our Saskatchewan storm chaser, just showed up to the show. Hi, Hank. Welcome.
Hi.
And we got
I
Brennan, we got
I
Hauk
picked
back. We got Hank and Hauk.
I picked up the Karate Kid, so now I'm here.
Ah, that's right. You were that's right. You were doing dad karate things. Gotcha. Got you. And hey, here you go. You can tell your kid this. This is sorry, I just need a second here. I'm doing 6 things at once. My advice goes like so. Sorry. Whatever you think martial arts is about is probably what's holding you back. Tell them that. Okay.
I thought that
Frankie. Okay, so I've been looking at. I got maps of earthquakes going on. There was a big earthquake. Oh my God, in Japan. There's an earthquake somewhere in the world, Frankie.
The big earthquake in Japan. I did a weather forecast for St. John's, Newfoundland, Boston, Massachusetts, New York.
We'll be looking at that in a second. But also, didn't you predict a big earthquake in Japan, and now it's
Yes,
happened?
I did. Back in March
What
2023. I
what
got it
happened
right.
with what happened with the big earthquake?
Killed a lot of people. Fatalities reported in tsunami and things like this. They had a big wave in California because of the earthquake in Japan.
Yes. So that's been the story this week, and we're looking all around the plates. And I don't know. I think there's things building. We'll see. We'll see what happens, right? So we're always worried on the West Coast when we see certain kinds of earthquake activity swarms happening. Definitely, it's been pretty quiet off the Canadian coast for the most part lately. Any of our friends who are in Japan, we wish you well. We will be looking at Frankie's video in a second here. Anyone got questions for Frank McDonald?
I have
That
one.
means
Frankie, how are you doing so
I'm
far?
doing great so far. The highlight of 2024 is total solar eclipse heading for Sydney, Nova Scotia, Monday, April 8, 2024.
Mhm.
That's a good question. Yeah. What about you, Brandon? You got a question for Frankie this week?
Do I have a question for Frankie this week? Hold on. I'll pull it up here. Okay. All right, Frankie. Here's a good one. How long would it take if you point your car straight to the sky to get to space?
Very straight up.
Forever.
Actually, the answer is only 1 hour.
That's not
Get
true.
to
I've
space.
I've had my car facing like that, and I never, and for several hours, and I did not reach space.
But you have to be driving it that way.
It
let's
doesn't
not
drive
forget
that
that
way.
Joey drives like a grandma, so Joey's going very slow and took a wrong turn, but
Yeah.
in true Joey fashion did not want to ask for assistance, and that's why he never made it.
That's why he
I
ended
wish
up in
I drove
Quesnell.
like a grandma.
Exactly. That's the only reason anyone gets to Quesnell.
I didn't end
You
up
know-
in
Wrong turn
Quesnell.
in
I ended up
Albuquerque.
past it. That's just where I get groceries, friends. Come on now. Come on.
You know what?
Yes. No, I actually am capable of driving quite quickly. That's the Barkerville Highway is my little. You should see this. That's a nice 80-kilometer mountain road of nobody on it a lot of the year.
I like to watch old reruns of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And I like to prove to myself over and over and over that I'm not smarter than a fifth grader. So anyway, the one I was watching last time, they asked how many miles from Earth to the sun? Miles. And I believe the 3 answers were, if I remember right, 80,000 miles, 800,000 miles, or 80
Isn't it
million
like
miles.
7 million kilometers to the sun? Now I gotta look.
It was the biggest answer. Long way, man. It was like 80 million, I think, if I remember right.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
quote-
147 million kilometers. That's a little bit further than I said. It's
Mhm.
3 million to the moon. What am I thinking? Anyone, Imogen, you got a question for Frankie? I need to stop talking.
It's unusual to hear you say that. Normally that's reserved for the rest of us.
Yeah, I know.
Frankie,
The
how
message
physical-
is
Frankie,
getting
how
through.
physical is the quadrantid meteor shower where you are? Do you have a clear view of it?
Meteor showers usually happens in August.
Well, right now the quadrantid meteor shower is happening and it's largely visible across North America. Do you have clear visibility tonight?
That means not that clear visibility tonight.
Aw, well, that's unfortunate because it's pretty alien infested. So there's a lot of little aliens cruising around on and behind those meteors. So if you can see it, if you look close, if you squint real hard, you might actually get to see an alien. And if you're lucky, you'll get to see an alien get bonked by that tool bag floating around in our orbit.
Yes, the tool bag. Still going.
Right.
And it's actually with the most meteors of any storm so far this year.
It's also the fewest. Just by default of being the
Yes.
first. And added fun fact, it's also the best so far this year.
That's
I have
true.
a question
That's
for
true.
Frankie. I have a question. Frankie, when is the big snowstorm out east there in eastern Canada, the place you love so much? Out east, when is that snowstorm going to start and when is it going to end?
Gonna start Friday afternoon, evening in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Start Friday evening. When does it end? Sorry.
It's gonna be remain windy on Saturday in St. John's, Newfoundland, and blowing snow there.
All right. Thank you. I'm getting 5 centimeters out here this weekend.
Woo!
It'll be our
I'm
first.
going to be asking you about how cold.
of
Going
the
to be asking
season.
you soon about how cold both
Mhm.
Hulk and Hank are going to be experiencing in the coming week. It's going to get bad. In the
And,
meantime,
and El Nino's gonna die sometime in the winter, in the spring. Then it's gonna might be a La Nina.
More storms for me. Yeah.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own team station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major snowstorms headed towards New York City on Sunday, January 7, 2024. It's going to start on Saturday, January 6, 2024 during evening hours. It's going to bring 6 to 12 inches of snow or more. New York City and surrounding areas, including Manhattan, New York, Queens, New York, including Staten Island, Brooklyn, Bronx, and all these places, including Newark, New Jersey, Atlantic City, New Jersey, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Is going to bring blow, drift, and snow, reduce visibility, dangerous or treacherous driving conditions. Is going to bring a lot of snow, blowing snow, drift, and snow. Streets, roads, highways, and interstate highways will be snow covered in New York City and its surrounding areas, including Staten Island, Long Island. Those places going to bring a lot of snow. New York City and surrounding areas going to bring big snow drifts. Will be dangerous or treacherous driving conditions, and blowing snow, drift, and snow, window conditions. Reduced visibility to New York City and its surrounding areas as well. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow. New York City and surrounding areas, including Queens, New York, Staten Island, New York, and surrounding areas as well. That's going to cause really dangerous driving conditions as well. People in New York City, be prepared. Have your winter boots ready, winter jackets ready, hats, gloves, scarves, ski pants ready. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food. Buy case of Pepsi, buy case of Coke. Do your grocery shopping. Don't wait till the last minute. Do it right now. Make sure your smartphone, cell phones, laptops, and tablets charged. Have your 3G, 4G, 5G, LTE internet ready as well. When you drive a car, take your time, drive a car, slow down, so you don't get in car accidents. When you go for a walk, be very careful walking so you don't slip and fall. Make sure if your furnace is the heat pumps ready, and turn on your furnace the heat pumps to keep those warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green to keep you warm. Have your extra blankets ready to keep you warm as well. Make sure if your shovel, snow scoop, snow blower, snow plow, salt trucks ready as well. If anybody live in New York City, be prepared for major snowstorm on Sunday, January 7, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in a major snowstorm. Stay warm, be safe.
yeah, why is it not playing the next video? It's being stupid.
I've always been wondering.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own team station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major snowstorms headed towards St. John's, Newfoundland on Friday, January 5th, 2024. It's going to bring up to 15 to 25 centimeters of snow. Winds are going to be very strong. It's going to cause blow and drift of snow and avalanche peninsula. There'll be big waves crash on beaches and shores. There'll be big snow drifts, blown snow, drifts and snow, reduced visibility, dangerous or treacherous driving conditions, and streets, roads, highways, and Trans-Canada Highway will be snow covered. There'll be really dangerous driving conditions in St. John's, Newfoundland, and the surrounding areas. There will be a lot of snow in greater St. John's, Newfoundland, surrounding areas, and the Avalon Peninsula. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow, including Mel Pearl, Newfoundland, and surrounding areas as well. Winds are going to be really strong in St. John's and the surrounding areas as well for people living in St. John's, Newfoundland and the surrounding areas. There'll be big, huge snow drifts and things like this. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow in St. John's and the surrounding areas. There'll be big waves crashing on beaches and shores in St. John's, Newfoundland and the surrounding areas as well. People in St. John's, Newfoundland, be prepared. Have your winter boots ready, winter jackets ready, hats and gloves, scarf and ski pants is ready. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food. Buy a case of Pepsi, buy a case of Coke. Do your grocery shopping. Don't wait till last minute. Do it right now. Make sure you have your smartphones, cell phones, laptops, tablets charged. Have your 3G, 4G, 5G, and LTE internet ready as well. When you drive a car, take your drive car solid in so you don't get in car accidents. When you go for a walk, be very careful walking seat belts if you fall. Make sure your furnaces and heat pumps ready. And turn on your furnace and heat pumps to keep those warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green tea, keep warm. Have your extra blankets ready, keep warm as well. Make sure your shovels, snow scoops, snowboards, snow plows, salt trucks ready as well. If you have anybody living in St. John's, Newfoundland, be prepared for major snowstorm on Friday, January 5th, 2023. Friday, January 5th, 2024. I mean, take care, stay safe. And don't get caught in a major windstorm. Stay warm, be safe. What about my Massachusetts forecast?
Well, I just figured because it's like New York and Massachusetts, it's like, and it's happening tomorrow.
What about major snowstorm to hit Massachusetts on Sunday, January 7th, 2024? I did a video as well yesterday.
Yeah, and because we already talked about New York, I just figured it kind of covers.
Massachusetts is a separate video altogether.
Okay, if we have time, we'll watch the Massachusetts one tonight still, I promise. I just cut my own video I was going to show you guys because I was like, oh, we don't have time. So, okay, Frankie McDonald, you're the best. Brandon Hauk, how bad is it going to get in Western Canada?
Western Canada. Well, for us, before I get to Western Canada, I'll tell you I have two great stories to share with you coming up after I get through Western Canada. So hold on.
Okay, so before you talk about Western Canada, you're going to tell us about what you're going to talk about. You're going to talk about what you're going to talk about after Western Canada.
Yeah, that's the point, right?
Okay, gotcha.
So Western Canada, we have some cold air coming down, and I was looking at the observation up at Colville, Northwest Territories, this hour. It is currently minus 43 degrees, and you add in a wind chill, it feels like minus 54 right now. So,
No,
yeah.
thank you.
No, I'm good too. So, yeah, next week's going to get interesting. I'm going to break that down here. So first off, we have a couple of still some Pacific systems on the BC coast there in the next few days. And then we also do have a couple more mild days here in southern Alberta at least. But we've also had this pesky fog around all this week. And we've been foggy since Monday. And we've had this fog roll in, fog roll out. Fog comes back in again, and it's kind of been annoying, but yeah, it's been the story throughout most of this week, and it's kept our temperature down just a tad for the last couple of days after that beautiful weather we've had back in December there. Absolutely gorgeous. Now it's starting to feel a little more like winter out here. So we have a system coming through. We've got a couple of impulses. And those impulses across northern BC along into northern Alberta producing a blast of snow here and there. And it looks like Saskatchewan's going to get a couple centimeters of snow around Hank area there. Hank's area of Wilkie might get about 5 centimeters of snow. And that's going to be towards the end of the week here. And then this next system is going to dive to the south. Here's what's going to happen. It's going to dive to the south, and then we're going to get a little blast of Arctic air coming through here on Sunday, and the temperatures are going to fall to like minus 10 through the day, and that's going to be nasty because we haven't been minus 10 for a while here. So
yeah, but it will seem you'll be missing it. You'll be like minus 10. Remember how great that was?
Yeah. Soon we'll be missing it. So that's going to get nasty on Sunday, and then a blustery wind to go along with that. Monday and Tuesday, we kind of bump up a little bit. So we improve back to the seasonal average. And then Wednesday comes along, and that's when the real deal of the Arctic air dives down from the north. through the middle of the week with some snow to go along with that as well. And we could be dealing with at least minus 20s, minus 30s, and wind chill valley is going to be a big factor as well. Now, it's also depending on how much light snow develops through middle part of next week, too, because I've seen this happen before when we've had a cold Arctic air mass come down from the north, and we're thinking, oh, it's going to be the worst. Look out. And then all of a sudden, you get this period of light snow, and the cloud deck kind of acts as a blanket here, and it keeps our temperature from going very far down south, if I can say it like that. But it depends how much cloud cover, how much light snow accompanies this, so that might keep our temperature from going too low. But we're still going to be bitterly cold through the middle part of next weekend, right into next weekend as well. So at least our first minus 40 wind chills, and we might get pretty some areas might get pretty close to that minus 40 degree mark if your skies are pretty clear. So we'll be watching that very closely, especially through the middle part of next week and beyond, because it doesn't look like we'll have an improvement after that.
No.
What was my computer thinking? My computer told me today, I was sitting on my work computer, and all of a sudden this notification pops up, and it says 69 centimeters of snow coming soon.
Oh.
And I look up my forecast, and I looked up a 10-day snow. It didn't say when. I looked up 10-day forecast. It said, 14 centimeters for my area. I'm like, where is my computer getting this from? And then I messaged my work friends to tell them, no, it's not right, because they thought. And then my computer starts arguing with me, Brandon.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I get another notification. It says 52 centimeters of snow coming on Friday, meaning tomorrow. And I'm like, what? That can't be right. There's no way that's right. I looked up the forecast, it says 1 to 3 centimeters coming Friday morning.
So is your computer artificially unintelligent? Is it trying to deceive you? Has it picked up some sort of demonic behavior?
It might somehow thought of a different place, but where's getting 70 centimeters? Nowhere, right? Nowhere, right, Brandon?
Yeah, that is what I call a crap app computer.
Yeah, that was crazy. I'm not lying. That's what it told me.
Wow.
Pictures or it didn't happen.
Oh, I got
screenshots.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah. So
it's wrong.
Okay, well,
you got lots of frost, Brandon. Lots of frost when you had fog.
Oh yeah, lots of frost, lots of the rime frost in the trees, looking absolutely lovely, and we're gonna get kind of another dousage of rime frost. I've noticed a lot of the power lines too, because they kind of get like the rime frost on the power lines. They start to I'm not sure what you call, I forget what they call it, walloping or something, and the power lines do this, and they start doing bouncing around. It looks really cool, and then frost comes flying off. You get hit by a pile of frost.
Vehicle antennas going like this when they get covered in frost, like crazy. As you're driving, if your vehicle antenna is covered in frost, there's a good chance it's just going to hit that resonance and just vibrate like absolute craziness. Like it'll vibrate so fast, you'll think it's going to break, and it might. So you got to go take the frost off of it.
It's kind of like when I get covered in frost, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So, Victoria Cookie Bailey down there in Imogen, British Columbia. Tell us about your weather so far this week.
Light rain, little bit of drizzle all week. What we're looking at is it's going to be between 0 and 10 degrees, because that's just island winter. I mean, it's pretty glorious, really, compared to what the rest of you get. It's pretty bland, damp, drizzle, a little bit of rain here and there, a little bit of blue sky, and lots of sharks.
Should we shatter her bubble about next week's forecast, Brandon?
Lots of sun,
Hey,
hey?
Brandon,
Huh?
when is the next?
Some
When
sun
is the first sunrise
scattered.
up? When is the first
Scattered
sunrise
suns.
up above the Arctic Circle?
What's above the Arctic Circle?
When is the first sunrise up above the Arctic Circle?
I don't know. It's not for a while yet.
This is. I got a lot of big fans in British Columbia too.
Right. Give me 1 second. I'll answer that.
Now we're just gonna watch Joey Google things for the next
Google
20
things.
minutes.
So I found this story in because I'm back on radio this week, so that means I'm looking at stories now for work things. But
Cite your sources, you ginger gem.
sources. So in Singapore, a woman was fined $1,400 for allowing mosquitoes to breed in her toilet bowl, despite her efforts during a trial to push the blame to the insects. They contested one charge of creating conditions favorable for mosquito breeding in her toilet bowl. So she got charged for making mosquitoes happen in her house.
See, that's impressive, really.
It
I
is.
am absolutely astonished that someone can be credited with allowing them despite what I assume to be regular flushing.
Yeah.
What's the living condition of these bugs that they enjoy that?
I
Where are
guess
they? How bad is her toilet?
don't flush the toilet.
Yeah, I think that's about
Leave the windows open.
Ugh.
I don't know. I was thinking, what is it she did wrong? And the best I can think of is she hasn't been flushing her toilet. I don't know.
Right. I thought that stagnant water was what they enjoyed, as opposed to, flushed and wiping away their eggs. They have eggs, right?
With leaving the lid open is also going to help them get in there in the first place.
Oh yeah.
If they're small enough, they can just walk under the lid, even if
Yeah.
it's closed.
But it makes it easier if you leave it open, right? I think.
Yeah.
Touche. Well, if they're
Lid
really
opened,
big, yes.
window opened, screens off the window.
If it was Winnipeg, they'd fumigate her whole neighborhood.
Oh yeah. Fumigate her whole house, pretty much.
So to answer Frankie's question, when was the first sunrise? According to Genesis 1, verse 3, God said, "Let there be light" on the first day.
When is the first sunrise up above the Arctic Circle, like Barrow, Alaska?
Genesis 1, verse 3. I don't. January 18th, is it, Frankie? 21st?
Yes.
18th or 21st? I should have been looking that up.
So
Yeah.
are the
They
polar bears
distracted you.
just like headbutting each other in the dark right now? Is that what's happening up there? They have no daylight?
Yeah.
These are my fans.
Oh, the
Oh.
angel.
Aw.
Wait. Okay, wait.
Frankie, are they stealing Wi-Fi for you? Is that what's happening? Did you send them in to
Hey,
get you some
Frankie's
Wi-Fi?
fans.
Frankie said, "Let there be light."
It's gonna be a little bit of flurries in Sydney, Nova Scotia as of right now. Vancouver, British Columbia, it's gonna turn colder. It's gonna turn snowier next week. Where Imogen you're getting snow next week.
Let's hope. I need snow. I want it. My car barely runs. I need snow so I have a reason to not drive.
Imogen, do I have real big fans in Brooks, Alberta?
Oh yeah, you could definitely have fans in Brooks, Alberta now. Yes.
Definitely have fans in Brooks, Alberta. Frankie,
Yeah.
do they know at that burger shop that you're using their Wi-Fi?
Not true. Not true.
You're not using their Wi-Fi. Are you using my Wi-Fi? Are you the guy that's been? Frankie, we talked about this. We have talked about this, Frankie. I don't know
Are
how
you the Wi-Fi bandit that everyone's been talking about?
It's a free Wi-Fi.
right? Okay. Every time my Wi-Fi goes out or slows right down, it's like 3 minutes before Frankie calls. And he calls and he's laughing maniacally. And it's just a video call of Frankie giggling. And then 10 minutes after the call ends, I get my Wi-Fi back. Frankie
Guess
is
what?
Wi-Fi bandit. If your
Guess what?
internet goes down, if
I
your
found
Wi-Fi's
that
out,
Quantum Media's back too.
oh goody.
You can steal his Wi-Fi.
Way to change the subject,
week.
Franklin.
This week
to
on
go.
Canada's Most Wanted, a man stealing Wi-Fi in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
A man.
If you see this man,
Do not
call
approach.
Crime Stoppers. He may be armed with hamburgers.
That's Nelson Peabody.
He may be armed with dangerous hamburgers.
You know what? I'm still not. I'm still pretty certain that Frankie's fans showed up to go in. He's using his fans as a boot to get him Wi-Fi from A&W. They're coming out like with a cup at a time.
They're just ordering their food.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
They're not like sneaking out cups of Wi-Fi for you.
This week on Unsolved Mysteries, how does Frankie McDonald get his Wi-Fi?
It's a free Wi-Fi at the A&W. I got news for you. Did you hear about this? Gino Bisconte, he's the host of the Hot Water Show on Compound Media.
How's the temperature out there, Frankie?
It's pretty cool out in Sydney, Nova Scotia as of right now.
Pretty cool here too, but not like next week. What's it gonna be like on Vancouver Island next week?
It's going to get really cold and snowy in Vancouver Island as well.
Very cold. It'll be not boring.
Let's hope. You know what? We get the promise of really cold all the time, and we'll get maybe a couple inches at best.
We're going to get lots of snow next week there. And Los Angeles and Arizona's going to get snow as well. Cold air going all the way down Mexico.
Well, here we have a see this is the planet Earth, right? And here's the cold air, and watch what happens. It starts to come out. Well, before I do that, what's this over here in Russia, Frankie? Minus 50. I like how I just picked it and got 50 on the dot. That's like Price is Right. I didn't overbid or underbid. 50 in Russia. So here comes that cold air, and it's oh, look at that. The Chilcotin Mountains always get it first. It's weird. And then into Alberta, and look, Brandon has kind of a nice day at first. He's like, oh, it's not so bad. And then he's like the last one, but wrong. No. And look at this. This is called Arctic outflow. And that's particularly miserable because it's like damp and cold and crappy. And so it starts at -7. But then what happens in Vancouver Island too? What's this? 17.
Wow.
Yeah, look at this. And this is I call this the arrow of hatred and violence.
That's the mountain.
And if people
tops, yeah.
One of my biggest pet peeve is when people says to me, well, it's been cold in Canada before, Joey, because I'm like, well, extreme cold is coming. It's been cold in Canada before. I'm like, yeah, people have also froze to death and lost their hands and toes in Canada before.
Even head down to Vegas, Arizona, even Mexico.
They got 24s on Vancouver Island, and right here by Victoria, this could be 16s. Look at this in the Olympics, 24s. Bam, woo! 34. Oh, that's into Washington State, 35. And even our friends in Oregon might see some of that cold air. 24s. Oh my. And that's a daytime. No, that's a nighttime temperature. So that's pretty bad, though. That's pretty bad.
What about Nevada?
Great week to go camping.
Look at this. Well, you kind of joke about that. -28s into New Mexico, -20s. So we could see -20s in New Mexico. How often does New Mexico get -20, Frankie?
That means and it's going to be extremely cold air. What about Phoenix, Arizona?
What about Phoenix, Arizona?
That's where Dino lives.
There it is.
That's the wrong place, Frankie.
So not quite to Phoenix. Gary and Dino, they get off. They just stay above freezing. But to people in Arizona, this even 3 degrees, they'll be suffering.
Unless you're from Canada, then you're like, oh, this is not so bad.
Las Vegas?
No, you'll be like, I left Canada to not experience this.
That too, yeah. Though I've been to Florida when it was 3 or 4 degrees, and I still went to the pool, and I got the pool to myself. It was kind of nice.
And look at this here. Look at this
To be
here.
fair, Brandon, it might have been because you're a ginger and you know the rule about gingers in the pool.
Yeah,
What
so we're
is
allowed
the-
in the pool.
Speaking of which, I saw that great video where Frankie met you.
Oh yes, I
It's
met
a-
Frankie
it's-
today. Sort of.
Wait, Brandon, you're in Brooks, Alberta. It's a guy almost look like you.
Yeah,
I think
that was
it
totally
counts.
me. I was a little shy, but that was okay.
Every
And
guy
look-
with red hair it looks like Brandon.
Yes.
Most of them
Especially
are
when it's all
leprechauns,
nice
but
and-
that's okay.
That's the rules. Like, you know, them guys in Brooks, Alberta, they all look the same.
All redheaded males are named Brandon.
A lot of them are.
Oh yeah, I've my co-host is named Brandon, and he has black curly hair. No
Well,
one,
he won't
no one gets
last.
confused about that.
He won't last long.
I had a grandpa and grandma in Arizona back when they were still alive, and I spent a Christmas down there, Tucson, Arizona, one time when I was a kid, and like we were running around in shorts and stuff. Me and my brother, we were Canadian, we were from Alberta. Everybody around there is walking around with like long sleeve sweaters on and stuff, but we were running around in shorts and stuff Christmas time. So it's a pretty warm part of the USA. Yeah. Not too far from Mexico, Tucson. Phoenix, I think, is slightly even warmer than Tucson normally. I'm not sure, but just guessing.
Well, definitely got snow, ice, and rain pounding the East Coast this weekend. That's one of the big stories going on. Extreme cold gripping Nordic countries as floods hit Western Europe. There's minus 40 been going on in Sweden. Is that the case, Brandon?
Oh yeah, it's minus 40. Speaking of and they had a lot of snow in Norway too. Like they had like meters of snow that I saw on that picture there. And also, did you know in this town called Longyearbyen, Norway? I probably said
Longyearbyen.
yes. It is illegal to die because bodies in the town's graveyard do not decompose due to the permafrost that's on the ground there. So dying's not allowed in that town.
It's illegal to die. And Longyearbyen. That's so Norwegian. You know, it's like go to war. It's illegal to. Scenes of loss play out across Japan, western coastline. Quake has now the death toll's up to 84. So some big time devastation this week. It'll be the strongest earthquake in a while. Certainly in Japan, the largest earthquake in a while. And anything over 7 magnitudes, very strong. So we didn't get. Of course, we had the big tsunami in 2011, and you know, automatically when you start hearing tsunami alerts in Japan, your mind goes to that kind of imagery. However, that was one of the largest. That was, I think, the largest earthquake, the most powerful earthquake Japan's ever experienced on record. So you got to remember that produced an exceptional tsunami. Huge surf pounding Hawaii, flooding in low-lying areas there. Eurostar has canceled train. There's flooding between Paris and London. So you can't take the train between under the ocean right now because there's flooding going on in the train. I think I'll take a boat. Yeah, that is just some of the news stories this week.
I saw a crazy video just recently today. You'd have to look up Oregon Coast Guard golden retriever. And the Oregon Coast Guard, after a golden retriever, somehow, don't ask me how this happened. Like dogs are very good, and the golden retrievers are very good. They have 4 legs. How did this golden retriever end up falling over a coastal cliff? And these
Someone throws a stick over the cliff.
maybe
The retriever goes. I've known retrievers that you could throw a stick into a volcano and they'd come back with it.
This is someone's beloved pet. Somehow went flying over a cliff in Oregon during a rainstorm, and the Oregon Coast Guard went and actually rescued this dog, and it was, just laying there at the bottom of the cliff, really badly beat up. And they managed to bring it, back to the people, and it's a crazy video. But it really gets you right in the heart.
Dogs jumping off cliffs, mass hysteria. Frankie, questions. Do you still have room to stay at your house during the eclipse? People would like to make reservations.
At the Holiday Inn, Sydney, Nova Scotia.
I hope they're paying you for all the promo you've given them so far, Frankie. Every time you talk about the eclipse, you keep telling everyone to go to that hotel. I really hope that they give you something for all this. You have advertised them so much. They're going to be sold right out. And on that note, reserve early. Tell them Frankie sent you because his couch is full because I'm on it.
Hotel. Holiday Inn.
I'm on the top bunk of Frankie's bunk bed.
I want to know what the odds are of cloud at that time of year. I got to think greater than 50%, but I'm no expert.
Pretty high.
And Base Guy's first show in the new year is tomorrow night.
Right.
Everyone had to stay at the Holiday Inn hotel for the eclipse.
Not on bunk beds or tents or anything?
At the hotel.
I need you to, when you're out dancing this weekend, talk to all the old ladies and be like, hey, Joey Only? He needs a place to stay.
Joey, if this is your way of trying to get a girlfriend, it's a really bad way of doing it.
I've given up.
So you're asking Frankie to set you up.
I just want a couch.
At the hotel.
Yes.
People
Yes, a
are all,
couch, a pity couch. You're hoping for a pity couch to rest on.
At the Holiday Inn, Sydney, Nova Scotia.
As
people get
arranged
all
by one of
excited.
Frankie's single lady friends.
Oh my!
What about Compound Media is coming down too?
Are you sure?
Gino Bisconte's coming down.
Oh. Not to be confused with Gino Biscotti, the crunchy, dry cookie version.
Ah.
People get all excited to meet Frankie, and then he makes them yell into the microphone, hi to somebody else, and they're all like, "What? What do you
Who's
want?"
that guy? Yeah, no one cares about Frankie's friends. Absolutely none of his fans care about his friends. But
I know that's
wants
why none of
everyone-
them watch our show.
Yeah, no, Frankie wants everyone to hang out with each other. He wants to be the host of the party who invites everyone and then just kind of like mingles and watches from the side while everyone else has a great time. But everyone that he invites wants to hang out with Frankie. It's chat with each other.
Right in downtown Sydney, Nova Scotia, Holiday Inn.
Or your front yard. Whatever has
I
room.
choose Holiday Inn.
How about the harbor? Can we go to the harbor along the wharf? Can we do that?
I've
That's a
actually got
holiday.
a long-range forecast for the weather for the next eclipse. Here it is. And it looks something like
Yeah,
that.
I recognize that place. Frankie, what is your favorite planet?
Earth. People are born on Earth. They can't breathe on Mars. They can't breathe on any other planets.
Well, yeah, you can. You just have to practice.
That's true. I think Earth's my favorite because I can breathe. That's what I tell people. Actually, it's a pretty good planet. I like it. The humans, I mean, they're kind of a problem. But otherwise, it's quite lovely.
With a handful of horrible exceptions, I like a lot of the humans around here. They're pretty decent and passable as people.
Yeah, well, some of us lower our standards as we get older, and some of us become more bitter.
My old survey school buddy has a saying for, liking things, okay. And he's from Yellowknife. He grew up in Yellowknife. And the saying that him and his buddies had up there was beat the kick in the head from a frozen muckluck. Well,
That's oddly
Yeah.
poetic.
Excellent. We got 12 minutes left in the show. Yeah. Who's got something? Who's got something?
Who's got something?
It's
Let's
time
see if
for Who's Got Something?
Who's
God.
got something cool?
Yeah,
All
clearly
right.
no one does, or we would have prepared it. I just gave up. I tapped out months ago.
All right. So ketchup. Let's talk about ketchup here, eh? So
Oh,
ketchup
no.
originated in China as a fish-based sauce. Then it was picked up by the British, who made it into a mushroom-based sauce, and then finally picked up by the Americans, who made it into tomato-based sauce. That's the history of ketchup.
That's saucy.
Ah.
Juicy.
Did you know
Saucy
that Pierce?
behavior.
Did you know that Pierce Brosnan is facing charges? You know what he's facing charges for?
What?
Allegedly walking in Yellowstone's thermal areas.
Oh.
There is
A lot of people
a lot of Yellowstone is just way off limits, and there's a lot of injuries every year because people think, oh, that looks like a really comfortable little, pool to be in, or the mineral bath would be quite nice. But the reality is, it's extremely dangerous. Like the heat is wild, the acid levels will. They go in thinking it's going to be a nice, relaxing little hot tub kind of experience. Oh no, no, they're skeletonized in like 20 minutes.
I think it averages something like 50 deaths a year in Yellowstone. Right? And of course, not all those are from falling into acidic pools. Pierce Brosnan, you think you're special because you're Pierce Brosnan? I get to walk wherever I want. I'm Pierce Brosnan.
You know, if you're James Bond, then you can make a few of your own rules.
Yeah, until you break through the soft crust into one of those boiling vats that melts your skin off like instantly.
Right?
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's a man, people dying in those.
Oh yeah.
Because of who I am, I've watched every YouTube video on the subject I can think of. I could find.
Not
Okay.
only are those pools really hot, but a lot of them are acidic too. So yeah, they're nasty.
There's a rat plague in Australia. I don't know as of a month ago, there was a rat plague in Australia, and Australia gets plagues of mice. Have you ever seen this? When just millions of mice are running around a guy's farm, and it's like,
Australia has kangaroo rats. I don't know. I think it was probably normal rats that they had the plague though. But they have kangaroo rats there too.
It says the stench is quite bad. A plague of rats creating havoc in Karumba, a small town in Queensland, Australia. Then the mayor says the stench is bad, like obviously. And I can't find out exactly how many, but they're washing up in clumps on seawalls and shores. There's that many rats. Yeah.
How about this study here? How
I
about
wonder
this?
what side of Australia.
Queensland side.
Queensland. So
Oh,
eastern
okay.
side.
East side.
That's tropical. So it says semi-subtropical northeast area of Australia.
Yes. So here's one here. Studies suggest that unmade beds are healthier for us than neat and made beds. Bed bugs have a harder time surviving in messy beds.
I never understood these people who are like, make your bed. How come you didn't make your bed? Like, I'm just gonna get back in it. Like, who cares? I'm not gonna see it again all day. It's like, what if someone sneaks into my house during the day and is like, oh my god, his bed is messy. Now let's cancel that record deal we were gonna give his band. Yeah, you cannot be on Rogers TV anymore. You have a messy bed. A spy saw it. So in Pittsburgh, Brandon, everybody, this couple had an envelope full of $4,000 cash,
Oh, yes, I saw that story.
and their dog ate it.
Ate it all.
And they were able to recover $3,550 of the cash.
Was it just plain money the dog ate, or was there something mixed in with it? Like what?
They were able to recover $3,550 of it, Hank. But it was dirty work.
Dirty work. Oh, yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's gross, eh?
After you taste the first $2, what makes you think I need all the rest too? Like,
I don't know. Ask humans; they're the same. Like, why does a trillionaire need $1 trillion?
Wild.
Wild. Okay. Escaped sheep found wandering loose in New York. But don't worry about that, because the largest Australian funnel web spider ever found has been donated to an anti-venom project. It's 3 inches long. You know about the funnel web spider? It will kill you in many, many ways fast.
What's up?
Jeffrey Epstein court documents have been unsealed, and they named Prince Andrew and Donald Trump. In other news, a large crocodile jumped into an Australian man's boat, and he probably jumped out of the boat shortly thereafter. A bear has been sleeping underneath a house in British Columbia, and squatted. It's been evicted. This was in Duncan, British Columbia. There, on the Crystal Weaver of Duncan, her dog Coco was acting strangely, and then she found that there was a bear living underneath their house. So they brought the conservation officers. Personally, I would have. I mean, if I didn't have lots of neighbors and kids around, I'd let him stay.
Let the bear.
But
let the bear out.
my behavior in Wells towards bears is sometimes quite different depending on the bear and how long they've been hanging around and what they do. We have 5 minutes to go.
Joey,
A monkey escaped sanctuary in Ireland to look for love. This poor capuchin monkey, he just wants to be loved.
I can only think of one way that a spider could kill me, and that is by biting me. Now, what are you thinking? That the spider also could punch you out, or the spider could, attack you with a weapon?
I'm pretty sure that if you get like a drop of funnel web spider venom into an open pore, you could possibly lose that arm in your life. An Oklahoma
Bit.
a cat in Oklahoma rescued a small dog from 2 coyotes, but don't worry about that, because 2 twins were born in separate years in New Jersey, which should fundamentally destroy the space-time continuum, I'm pretty sure.
A cat rescued a coyote.
No, a cat rescued a dog from coyotes.
Oh.
Oh, a cat rescued a dog.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The 6-year-old Havanese dog Oakley was left outside to do her business when coyotes attacked her. But the family's outdoor cat Binks vaulted over the fence and chased them away. And I've had cats. I was quite sad when my cat Meowie disappeared. Something ate some cats. A number of cats went missing in town this spring here in Wells, and that included my Meowie. And Meowie was blind in one eye. He didn't see very well. Most of the cats I've had, everything but a raccoon would think twice about messing with them. You know, and I think Meowie was capable of that, but I don't know. I don't know what got the cats. If it was a coyote that was in town, some say it was a coyote in town. I'm skeptical of that. I would think if something got them, it would be a weasel of some sort, because cats are prone to attack from above. Frankie McDonald, how are you prone to attack?
That means coyotes. That means I don't see coyotes anywhere.
Ooh, I had one in my yard just a couple of hours ago, actually. Just yip yapping away.
And I have a dingo on my couch. He's sleeping.
That means I saw a fox. That means I'm keeping an eye on fox.
What does the fox say?
The fox chased me down the street back in 2014, and I outrun the fox.
The foxes are awesome.
Frankie, how could the fox find you on the internet?
If you want to find Frank now on the internet, that's me. You have to look up. You have to go to. If you want to find me on the internet, you have to go to Linktree. My Linktree is Frankie McDonald. My Blue Sky is at Frankie McD. My Twitter is at Frankie McD. My Facebook is Frankie McDonald. My Instagram is Frankie McD984. My TikTok is FrankDown984. My Clapper is FrankDown984. My Twitch is FrankDown984. My Snapchat is ReggaeMCD1. My YouTube channel stocks moves, and my LinkedIn is Frankie McDonald. Best of luck to you. I'm Frank Down. You're listening to me, Rossic Weather Report every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. On Friday, January 5th, Base Guy Show at 6 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Atlantic. Base Guy Show, the first Base Guy Show 2024.
Yeah.
You were the best pitchman for that show, Frankie. Most people would say, watch our show at this time slot. No, not Frankie. I hope Base Guy appreciates you.
Hope he pays you well. And if you want to find all the past versions of this show, this is episode 128 tonight. So there's 127 episodes and clips and things like that you can find on my Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude. That's me. And Imogen.in, you can find her online. She's got calendars for sale and things like such of herself. Hank Vlistra, you can find him in Wilkie, Saskatchewan. Brandon Houck, you can find him on the radio talking to all the bigwigs of the country. He's the most famous man in Brooks, that Brandon. And Frankie's the most famous man in Canada. So we've got all bases covered here. Okay, I think that's about the show for this week.
That's the show.
That's the show. We got.
The astute viewer may have noticed that Brandon is now looking a lot more comfortable. Well, no one was looking. Our ginger gem went and slipped into something a little more comfy and is now wearing a nice fleecy, warm house coat.
Yeah.
I'll be doing that
That's what I
soon
do.
because it's chilly in here. I was wearing an awful hoodie. I took it off and I put wood in the fire, and then it never actually got warmer in here. I spent the whole episode going, "Damn, I'm chilly."
That's the show.
That's
On
the
that
show.
note, you've been watching the
Okay.
Comedeorological Report on Rogers TV. Thanks, Mom. You're the only one.
Good
That's
one.
it. Be careful about what might be above you.
Could be a
Never
funnel
know.
web spider.
Could be a whole bunch of them, and they're huge. It better be. And Frankie's gone. It's not even
Oh, yeah.
8:01 yet, and the dude's out.
I didn't even get done hitting the turn off, and he was gone.
Oh, yeah.
He was
Frankie
gone.
makes an exit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Actually, on
Yeah.
that note, I gotta go because I gotta go I'm like, yeah, I gotta go do an interview. I gotta run. Bye.
Okay. Bye. That's
Bye.
Imogen Cookie Bailey. And here's a group I run called Fuck Bullshit Pro Science Rebel Alliance. This is a after show look at. So Maxwell accuser, she's introduced to Trump at Mar-a-Lago, age 14. The evidence piling up on this is actually disgusting. And what's great is the whole MAGA crowd's been yelling for years. And they're protecting a criminal. Yeah. If President Trump is removed from the ballots and they prevent him from being the nominee, I'll never vote in another election ever again, and will use my platform on my list to make sure millions of other Republicans don't vote either. That'll show them. Why is there a coyote on the bus? Because they can't fucking drive, Karen.
Pronunciation.
Imagine being a
Is that
grown
right?
adult blaming your actions on a zodiac sign. Take some
So is
responsibility.
there raccoons in Wells?
Here's pardon me, Hank.
Is there raccoons in Wells, BC?
There is not.
I
No.
didn't think so, but I heard you say something about raccoons, and I was wondering.
Oh, my old
Okay.
cat. We lived in central Ontario, and there was plenty of raccoons there. So here's a good one. If the Earth is flat, do the moon and all other planets are flat?
Oh
These
my
are the
God.
kind of things that flat earthers ask each other.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, if the Earth is flat, do the moon and all other planets are flat?
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. So, anyways, that's some of. Oh yeah, and Rudy, you look like 148 million bucks. Science has no word yet for what's wrong with this clown. There's your fuck bullshit news for the week.
That went over my head. He used to be a mayor. That's all I know. He's a whack. He's a whack who used to be a mayor.
He's a whack. Whack
Whack
job.
Whack job, yes.
Crazy American stuff. I'm really hungry, and my kids are playing Minecraft next door at Josh's on the other side of the building. So I should probably eat a piece of pie.
A pizza pie.
Not a pizza
Or-
pie.
Oh, piece of
Stuffed
pie.
pie.
And when I say piece, I mean
Whole
half.
thing.
I mean, half a pie.
Whipped cream. How about whipped cream?
No, but I do have frozen yogurt, to which I'm addicted to.
Pie and ice cream?
I can't eat ice cream. Yeah, it's too hard on me.
Tea.
Too much lactose.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But the frozen yogurt, no. There's next to zero lactose. So, and that goes back to, I think I've told you this before, but, when someone said, how did you know you were lactose intolerant? And I was like, after milking about the 50,000th cow. It's like, and when you grow up in a dairy farm and you're like, then suddenly, one day you realize, like, I'm sick all the time. I think this is what caused it. It's like your world is shattered. There is no meaning to the existence anymore after that. Everything's a lie. When you're a dairy kid, you can't.
Peace out. We should let you go do your stuff.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Hit like and subscribe and share. Thank you, Hank. Thank you, Hauk. That was a fun show always. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, brand new year. And hopefully by this time next week, we'll see how. It's hard for me to do shows when it gets that cold here. I mean, there's no snow on my roof, or usually my house is buried in snow when we get these cold snaps. This old building, man. I know from the difference between cold snaps of no snow and large amounts of snow, what it's like in this building. I'm not looking forward to it. It's, you can't run the stove hot enough to keep it warm in here. So we'll see if I can physically fucking handle doing a show next week. But I think I can because I'm